And with that, we say welcome inside Chaska High School. It is Tuesday night, Metro West Conference basketball here between the visiting Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights and the home Chaska Hawks. Ryan Paul here with you tonight, joined by Mike Schmidt tonight for second time, I think, Mike. We've had girls on the Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network here together. Mike, it's great to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be back here, Ryan. We were able to broadcast St. Louis Park earlier in this year, and it was a lot of fun. Chaska kind of took care of business, and I'd expect them to do the same tonight. It's kind of a lunch pail game. Go out there and get your job done and take care of business.
Hawks come in winners of 10 straight. They're 10-0 on the year, coming off of a rout of St. Louis Park last Friday. Chaska still winning games by an average of 39 points per night, Mike. It's been an impressive year so far, to say the least, for Tara Seifert's squad.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a run, and honestly, it's kind of to be expected with the level of talent they have and the schedule they face so far this year.
Chaska obviously resides in the Metro West Conference, where this year it's a down year for opponents in the Metro West. Chaska 9-0 in the conference so far. They come in heading to Wayzata on Friday. That'll be a fun one, Mike, tonight. But first, it's the 4-6 Benilde St. Margaret Red Knights.
Yeah, Benilde St. Margaret's got a young team coming out here tonight, and they've had a lot of early season struggles. They did get a win in their last game against South St. Paul, but scoring has been an issue on the year, so look for the Hawks defense to really wrap them up tonight.
Benilde, as I said, comes in 4-6 overall. They head to De La Salle on Friday for a tough non-conference matchup. Mike, I mentioned earlier that Chaska goes to Wayzata on Friday, but next week right back here, the Hawks host Hopkins, who's currently #1 in the state, and that's going to be a huge one as we run down the stretch of this season.
Yeah, it should be a fun battle. I expect it to be really close, kind of like the guys' game was similar to earlier this year. Both teams have a ton of talent on roster, and it'll be fun to see them match up. It'll be a great test to the Hawks after a soft opening portion of the schedule.
Chaska and Benilde St. Margaret's just about ready to tango here from Chaska High School. Chaska's leading scorer, Mallory Hires, had an impressive last 2 weeks. She had a career-high 31 against St. Louis Park last week, Mike, and she's headed to the University of Minnesota after this, but she's got still another year here at Chaska High School after this impressive one.
Yeah, I'd expect her to climb her way up the record books really quickly. She's been a great player for the Hawks for the past few seasons, and she's just got so much potential. She does all the right things within the game. She does the little things. She's a great passer. She's good at playing inside out, outside in. Her versatility is really what sets the Hawks apart.
Mallory Hire coming in averaging 24.3 per game after averaging just under 20 per game last year as a sophomore. The junior captain will tip things off here tonight against Benilde St. Margaret's number 15, Mackenzie Wills, who comes in, one of the sophomores on this Benilde roster. The Red Knights roster 4 freshmen. And as Mike said in the pregame, it's a very young roster here for head coach Mike Swan.
And that's the start you want from the Hawks as Hire gets on the board early. It's always fun to see.
Benilde pushes quickly. Pull-up jumper from the elbow, no good from Olivia Olson, the impressive freshman. #1 out there in white, 22.6 points per night coming into this one through 10 games. Yeah, an impressive number.
She's been one of the lone bright spots on the Benilde St. Margaret's team, as they are kind of playing with a lot of youth on the floor.
Late start tonight due to a late running JV game, so we are about 20 minutes late here from Chaska High School, but happy you joined us again. If you're just tuning in, Ryan, Paul, Mike Schmidt with you here on the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Appreciate their support tonight.
I'd like to think I had something to do with that, just by my patronage.
Kennedy Sanders at the free throw line, the sophomore, averaging 16 points per game, drains 2 free throws, and Hawks are up by 4. Down low, entry pass for Wellis in the lane, and there's a tie-up down low, held ball to call. Alternating possession arrow gives it to Benilde, but we have a timeout on the floor. Mike Swan, an early timeout here, less than a minute into this basketball game. We'll step aside here on the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Back from Chaska High School here, out of the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights timeout. Still a couple seconds to tick off of the clock before we get the ball back in play. Do want to thank Heartbreakers Pub and Grub for their local support. Reestablished in 2018 by a local family. They're very COVID conscious, Mike. I know you just mentioned you're a big fan of Heartbreakers. And I think a lot of folks watching are potentially even watching at Heartbreakers tonight.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite watering holes. The football coaching staff absolutely loves it. That's where we get a lot of late night meets on.
Sophie Coleman at the top, the senior, lone senior on this Benilde St. Margaret's varsity roster. Out of bounds. They say it last touched Olivia Olson, and it's Hawks ball.
Good defense there by Kennedy Sanders. Definitely affecting Benilde early. Chaska came out in their patented full court person-on-person press, and it looks like Benilde was a little rattled, got the early timeout, and look for the Hawks to build on the lead here.
Sanders at the top of the key, the Hawks sophomore, onto the near side for Van Epps, who enters down low for Heyer, who was wide open on the baseline and got a lucky bounce off the back of the iron for two. Hawks up 6-0.
Good offensive possession by the Hawks. It's such a luxury for Coach Seifert to have, at any given time, she's got the four best players on the floor almost every conference game.
Good defense by the Hawks down low, but Benilde gets on the board. Coleman, the scorer for the Red Knights. Kelsey Willems' three-pointer is blocked on the near side. Chaska has to reset now. Willems has it from about 15. Her jump is just long, and the offensive rebound by Kendall Carmen. She tries again, but it's no good. Rebound by Benilde.
Good job by Kendall Carmen there to battle for the extra opportunity. She just couldn't get it to fall. She's somebody that I really like watching on this team. She does all the small stuff. She's on a team with a bunch of big scorers, so it's good to see her get involved. She's going to get on the board. She's going to play hard-nosed defense.
5-second violation called against Sophie Coleman, the senior, at the top of the key. She was guarded by Van Epps for 5 seconds, and that's a turnover on the violation.
Good job by Chaska again with that high-pressure defense, forcing another turnover early on.
Brooklyn Miller, the undersized freshman, comes onto the floor for Benilde, and number 3. She averages 4 points a game, coming off a season-high 11 against South St. Paul last week.
Yep, another freshman in for Benilde St. Margaret's. It'll be interesting to see how they handle the spotlight against the top 10 Chaska Hawks team.
Entry pass from Sanders to Heyer was just off. Sanders, the leading assist getter on this Chaska team, 48 assists on the year. She's nearly doubling up anybody else on the team. Obviously, that has a lot to do with the fact that she can feed Heyer pretty much at will.
She's got a lot of weapons to work with, and she's a true point guard. She's a pass-first player and a kind of a more old-school approach to the game.
Great entry pass given down for Olivia Olson. She's fouled and will go to the free throw line. I've been impressed with the freshman so far. She's their leading scorer with 23 a night.
Yeah, she's been really good. Like we said earlier, she's been one of the lone bright spots on this younger team so far early on this year. She's got the size, and she moves pretty well for a younger player. So she's definitely going to develop and somebody to keep your eye on.
15:40 to play here, first half. If you're just joining us, welcome to the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Hawks doing battle with Benilde St. Margaret here tonight in the Metro West Conference battle. Hawks have a couple tough non-conference games coming up on the schedule. A few conference games left before they reach section play. Here's Kennedy Sanders from the far wing. Her three-pointer's off the mark. Rebound down low by Carmen. She finds Heyer, who gets a pair.
That's another great play by Carmen. She goes up and gets another second chance opportunity and makes a nice little hip pass down to Heyer for the easy 2 for the Hawks.
Kendall Carmen, a very undervalued, in my opinion, asset of this Chaska team. Big down low, able to snag some rebounds.
She kind of does what Spencer Getz does on the boys' side, where she just does all the little things.
Coleman with another basket. Benilde back within one possession here with under 15 to play in the first half. Steal by Coleman, the senior, showing up big here in the last minute. She goes coast to coast but can't finish, and the rebound is snagged by Heyer at the rim.
A little sloppy start here for the Hawks, totally uncharacteristic. We see turnovers there by Sanders and then another one by Heyer back-to-back. You're not going to see that very often out of the two leaders on this team.
Turnover as Chaska threw it out of bounds, as Mike was saying.
Kind of does what Spencer Getz does on the boys' side, where she just does all the little things.
A couple turnovers, but they're up by 3 here, just over 3 minutes in.
The sloppiness is uncharacteristic, but the Lady Hawks go on a lot of big runs. That's kind of how they take advantage of the game.
Hawks got caught vacating the lane. Kendall Carmen's called for the foul as number 5, Janiyah Wright, found the baseline and will go to the free throw line for 2.
The more the Benilde St. Margaret's can slow this game down, the better chance they're going to have. They don't have the firepower to go, toe-to-toe with the Hawks in a high transition game. But if they can slow the game down, handle the press and get to the line, they should be okay.
14:26 to play here from Chaska High School in the first half. Wright, the freshman, just under 5 per night. She hits the second free throw and pulls the Red Knights within 1 point. Sanders will bring it up for the Hawks here, moving left to right across your screen on all purple tonight. White and gold trimming. Van Epps straight away for 3, just off. Rebound by Olivia Olson. Olson kind of reminds me, just by the way she, just by her size and the way she handles herself, a little bit of Paige Becker. She's kind of got the size. She's a little taller, probably standing right around 6'3". Here she pulls up on the baseline, misses that one short, but gets her own rebound and connects for 2.
Yeah,
I would
kind
say
of giving the Hawks some fits right now.
I would say she's very resemblant of Paige Beckers. Obviously, just a freshman, has a long way to go, but
well, that's the versatility within her game that we spoke about a little earlier.
Willems off to Carmen now. Hawks have yet to make a sub. Sanders driving through, finds her point guard. Willems in the corner for 3. Kylie Willems on the board for a triple.
Yeah, no, I would expect a lot of outside shooting from the Hawks tonight. Benilde St. Margaret's early is definitely packing the lane to help contain higher. So, I mean, look for the Hawks shooters to get hot here, hopefully, coming up.
Have a quick update from Benilde St. Margaret's at the Haven Center. Chaska is leading Benilde by 16 at halftime in the boys' game. Obviously, that game way ahead of ours because we started 20 minutes late. But Chaska, who has also Chaska boys, who also have a couple big non-conference games coming up, has a 16-point advantage over Benilde in the boys' contest over in St. Louis Park. Back here in the girls' game, Coleman takes the baseline, pulls up, no good. Carmen, through contact, grabs the rebound.
Yeah, we got a close game here so far early, Ryan, but nothing's come easy for Benilde St. Margaret's. Chaska's gotten a couple easy looks, and they've dominated on the offensive glass, as you see there with Heyer with the putback.
Heyer tried to draw contact as she went back up for the opportunity, but it wasn't called. It's a 4-point game here with 12.5 to go in the first half. Coleman picked up by Van Epps at the 3-point line. Van Epps, the Lehigh commit. Olson pulls up from the wing, no good. Rebound by Van Epps.
Shows a lot of trust between Coach Mike Swan and the freshman Olson, that she's got the trigger there. At any point, she can take any shot she wants, which is pretty rare for a freshman at the high school level. But I mean, when you got a player as talented as she is, you definitely want to give her the green light as the Hawks inbound here from the side.
Kayla Hendrickson's Chaska's first sub, the senior, into the game. Right off the bat, Kennedy Sanders tries for 3, no good. Ashley Schulke also onto the floor for Tara Seifert. She's only a sophomore, seeing good minutes so far this year. Great steal by Hendrickson, whose strong suit is definitely defense. Benilde gets it right back, though. Olivia Olson has it stolen away from her, however, by Heyer. Olson able to recover, trying down low for Wright. Chaska steals it away once again, though. Finally corralled by Kayla Hendrickson, who enters for Sanders, who is streaking. Sanders, a cold night so far, shooting for her. Olson coming up, pulling, long 2-pointer, and that's good. Olivia Olson leading Benilde so far offensively as the Red Knights are cutting the lead to 2, and it's a timeout by Tara Seifert here with 11:32 to go. We'll step aside on the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Back from Chaska High School here. It's a 2-point lead for the Hawks. who come into this game undefeated at 10-0, Mike. They've won 6 home games, and they've got a tough stretch coming up here as they approach section tournament.
Yeah, they do have a really tough stretch. I mean, both the girls and the boys have, you know, that gauntlet at the end of the season. But that's going to be a great test leading into sections and maybe even state.
Hopefully for Tara Seifert, a return trip to the state tournament 11 years after their last run, which was in 2010. Hawks have been to the state tournament 6 times in team history, yet to win one at the Target Center. Hendrickson from the corner, that's good.
Nice shot there by Hendrickson. Benilde St. Margaret's came out in a zone there out of the timeout by Seifert. Giving the Hawks a little bit different look on defense. That's not what I would do if I was Benilde St. Margaret's. Chaska's just got too many shooters. I know that there's an emphasis on doubling down on higher consistently throughout the game, but I'd like to see that out of a man more than a zone if I'm Benilde St. Margaret's.
Kayla Hendrickson's 11th three-pointer of the year. She's really been solid from outside for Chaska. Here's Coleman inside, cut down by Schulke, just a sophomore. Rebound off the contested shot. Hires there to grab the board for Chaska. She'll hustle up the floor now with it, trying for Van Epps. Van Epps goes up, and she was blocked from behind. They'll say that Janiyah Wright, the freshman,
yet to
Van
win
Epps.
one at the Target Center.
Chaska.
Hendrickson from the corner.
Coach Tara Seifert rattled a couple cages there during that timeout call. The Hawks came out with a lot more energy. You know, they got a couple clean looks and played great defense out of the timeout.
10:26 to go here on the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Ryan Paul, Mike Schmid with you here. Appreciate you tuning in. Kaylee Van Epps, the senior.
Yeah, Van Epps, as the third leading scorer on the team, she's probably the best third leading scorer in the state for almost any team out there. You know, she's able to get the job done, the Lehigh commit. Obviously, having a Division I player as your third highest score is always a good thing.
85% free throw shooter. That's got to be top in the conference. Definitely leads the team. She connects at the free throw line for 2. Continues her success at the charity stripe. And here comes Benilde. Sophie Coleman at the top. Sends it inside for Olsen. Olsen picks up her dribble at the free throw line. Dumps it back off for Coleman, who got by Schulke and scored 2.
A little defensive lapse there by the Hawks, you know, allowing an easy basket cut and get to the rim. You got to be a little cleaner. It's a little bit, you know, they got to have a little more communication.
Sanders pulls up for 2.
And that's where it's going to be tough for Benilde St. Margaret's to stop the Hawks in that 2-3 zone. Chaska, like I said earlier, they've got too many shooters out on the floor. Olsen bringing the ball up for Benilde, passing it off to fellow freshman. Miller, they swing the ball around back to Olsen. Olsen, the open floor with another pass. Off to senior Coleman. Coleman drives to the lane and is unable to complete the attempt. Higher with the rebound. Sanders up to Kelsey Willems. She's unable to complete, just a little short. And Benilde looks to slow the ball down a little bit.
Here come the Red Knights. Sorry, I had to step aside for a moment. Had some technical difficulties on the back end. Got it all figured out, though, when we're back. Brooklyn Miller, the freshman, has it on the far side.
I think all we did there was show by, you're the play-by-play guy and I'm on color. Happy to have you back, Ryan.
Olsen fading away, try is no good. Higher, couldn't grab the pass. Couple defenders in front of her, forcing a turnover for Benilde. 7-point game with 8:27 to go here. I'll tell you one thing, Mike, this has been one of the lower scoring games for Chaska, lower scoring halves so far. Obviously 10 minutes in, 20 points is still impressive, but Chaska's used to scoring 80 points a night.
Yeah, I mean, Benilde's they're playing a slow game right now. They're able to handle Chaska's press, which usually generates quite a few easy buckets for the Hawks. And they've been slowing it down in the half court, just getting the ball to Olsen and kind of manufacturing their offense through her.
On pace for just under 80 points as Schulke goes to the line. Schulke hasn't had quite the impact that I think we may have expected this year, but obviously only a sophomore. She has a lot of talent ahead of her. And the sophomore will go to the free throw line, averaging just 3.5 points per game. Had a career high 18 against St. Louis Park last year in an 8-point average.
You know, there's only so many shots to go around, and
right.
This team is so talented. She's done a good job of molding herself to be the kind of player that's a nice role player to help fit in along all those star pieces, and she definitely has a ton of potential as just a sophomore going forward.
Second free throw, no good, so stays a 7-point game. The offensive board, though, by Carmen. She goes up. Looked like there could have been contact, but she connects for 2.
Carmen again with her 3rd offensive rebound in the first half. I mean, she's just been dominating the glass down low for the Hawks and really earning them 2nd and 3rd opportunities.
Olsen, far or near side rather for Coleman, who averages just under 10 per contest. Gives back to Olsen on the far side. She drives against Hendrickson, cut down though by Heyer, and the Hawks grab the rebound off the miss. Scrum forward in the backcourt, and they're going to, I believe, get Kelsey Willems. No, they're going to say the foul is actually on Janiyah Wright from Benilde St. Margaret's, and it'll be Hawks ball.
Yeah, Benilde's crowd's not loving that call. It looked like it could be kind of a no call, let them go after it, but they wanted to keep both players off the floor.
Substitution for Chaska, Anna Lenzen checks into the game, the sophomore. Seeing significant time so far this year, averages 3 points a game. Under 8 to play here from Chaska High School in the first half. Willems for Heyer outside. Lenzen finds herself wide open, just missed that one off to the left a little bit, and Benilde gets the rebound. Here comes Olsen, and she was fouled, but goes uncalled. Olsen took an arm to the face. I think the referee might have been caught backpedaling and missed the contact there. Benilde gets the ball on the sideline, however.
Yeah, Chaska will take the break there. Olsen in the open court one-on-one would have been a tough player to stop. You know, she showed a lot of talent so far early in this game. We haven't really seen an opponent with her versatility, with her size and ball handling ability, as they solo her one-on-one.
She's going against Hendrickson, Chaska's top defender, if you want to call that. Foul comes from outside as Sophie Sohm was driving.
Yeah, Kendall Carmen was a little bit late. It was a little bit late on that. Looking to pull it for, looking to get the stop.
Shale Horning actually is the shooter for Benilde on the JV roster, number 30.
Yeah, she's actually on the 9th grade roster,
you're
so
right,
they must be pulling up. I mean, we've seen, I believe, 4 freshmen now so far, Ryan.
Yeah, we knew Benilde was young coming into this game, but obviously player that is not rostered, at least on our varsity sheet. Pulling her off of the JV or the 9th grade sheet. Shale Horning, the freshman, no good at the free throw line on the back end.
You know, we saw this in the football season too, where, you know, I coach the 9th grade team and I help out on the varsity level, and there's just, between COVID and everything else going on, there's so many different factors that go into a team's numbers. So you've seen a lot of youth playing at all levels.
Carmen driving for 2. She's going to have the ball. There's confusion on who will get it, and they'll say it was Chaska ball. Carmen had a nice bucket at the other end and then played solid defense in the backcourt to get Chaska the ball back.
Yep, she's had a great first half. I'm not sure if the Hawks touched that one or not, but it looks like the inbound passer was actually over the line anyway, so it should have been Hawks ball regardless.
6:15 to go. Lenzen at the top of the key finds Carmen on the far side wing. She takes the baseline, cutting down against Miller. That's a mismatch. Carmen for 2. The freshman couldn't defend the size of Kendall Carmen, and the Hawks are quickly up 12 here.
Kendall Carmen is putting on a show early. I believe she's got 8 of the 26. It might be more. I mean, she's just been really impressive in all aspects of the game.
Hawks are quickly on pace for that 80-point average mark that they score per night. Here's Olsen fading away for 3. Her cold shooting night continues. And the ball touches the top of the backboard out of bounds. Hawks ball. Kayla Hendrickson, after a solid couple minutes of defensive play and a 3-pointer, will sit. And Mallory Heyer will also go to the bench for the first time tonight.
Yeah, with Olivia Olsen, you can see she definitely has the green light like we spoke about earlier. It seems like she might be trying to do a little bit too much right now as a freshman, but that's what happens when you're kind of undermanned on the offensive end and you don't have a lot of scores. You have to start forcing shots up, and she's so far been unsuccessful.
Carmen trying for 3, no good. Rebound by the Red Knights. Mackenzie Wills, a sophomore. Rebound, or the steal by Sanders, however. Her shot was no good, and Kaylee Van Epps was there to clean up, though, for Chaska.
Yep, that's just a lot of high-pressure defense. As soon as the Chaska gives up the ball, they flip the script. They get right down there. High pressure, force a turnover, get an easy look.
Willems playing solid defense at the timeline. Lenzen now face guarding Coleman. Coleman driving around, pulling up from 10, left it well short. Rebound by Van Epps, who gets it away for Sanders.
If again, nothing's come easy against this Chaska Hawks defense. It's been very impressive, really.
Turnaround for Van Epps is good. Timeout, Benilde St. Margaret's. It's a 16-point Chaska lead. They're on a 10-0 run here with under 5 to play from Chaska High School. We'll step aside in the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network.
His brother plays too on the boys team.
Back from Chaska. It's a 16-point lead. The Hawks on a 10-0 run here.
Yeah, Ryan, we spoke about it during the break a little bit. Chaska wasn't scoring quite as much as they typically do, but I mean, things come in waves for the Lady Hawks. They've really picked up their scoring.
Olsen loses the ball temporarily, recovers, however. The freshman gets it out to her senior partner, Sophie Coleman, back up top for freshman Brooklyn Miller. Benilde's a very young team. We've seen 4 freshmen already tonight for Mike Swan and the Red Knights squad. Outside.
Yeah, Benilde is struggling to handle the Chaska Hawks pressure right now.
Leighton a turnover. Sanders gets it outside for Hytnam. Check that. This is Anna Lenzen now on the near side. Back to Sanders in the corner, dumping it down low. Van Epps going against Coleman. Couldn't get that to fall. Rim just in and out. Under 4 to play here now. Wells pulls up at the 3-point line. Gets for Coleman.
Good transition defense there by the Hawks to slow everything down. We have seen that Benilde hasn't been successful in the half-court offense.
Olsen backs off. Van Epps rather goes with her. Olsen off a screen, no good. Rebound by Sanders, and she's mugged from behind. Foul against Sophie Coleman, and it'll be Chaska ball.
Yeah, Sanders is just, she's, that scrappy old school point guard. I mean, she scores great. She's the second leading scorer on the team here, averaging almost 16 a game, but it's all the other stuff that she does. She rebounds so well for a guard. She's that spearhead on the defense, and she also passes the ball so well, like you mentioned earlier.
3rd foul of the night for Sophie Coleman, the only senior on the Benilde roster. Means freshman Shale Horning will check back in for Swan and the Red Knights.
Yeah, Chaska swings the ball around. They're going to look to get an easy look here. Take your time on offense. You've got a nice run going.
Lenzen blocked down low by Olsen. Dartis' shot also blocked. Sanders comes flying in for 2, though.
Yep, Sanders, there she is again with a little tip, and not often do you see a point guard able to, make that play.
Olsen's tripped up, and it's a foul against Chaska, the 9th foul of the night so far. First foul against Kaylee Van Epps. We'll see a couple subs. Kaylee Van Epps will check out along with Kendall Carmen. We'll see Lily Niebuhr into the game for Chaska.
You have Niebuhr coming in. That gives Chaska more of a traditional big look. You look for their defense to maybe pack in or be a little bit more aggressive. You have a little bit more help in the paint.
Sanders still spying Olsen as she runs back and forth along the baseline. Red Knights trying to get an open look for their freshman guard. She pulls up from outside, no good. Rebound by Niebuhr.
Yeah, Olsen right now, she kind of reminds me a little bit of Chaska's boys team with Luke Strazzani having to run the show as well as being the lead scorer. It's just exhausting out there. You're going to get the other team's best defender every night, and you have to kind of force the issue, and she hasn't been successful.
She's the tallest player on the Red Knights roster.
Also playing point.
Yep. Higher dribbles it out of bounds. No, they say it was touched by Benilde, and it'll be Chaska ball. Looks like Mackenzie Wells is hobbling around a little bit. Maybe got rolled up on. Like her left ankle's a little bit tender. She's tasked with guarding higher down low, though.
Yeah, you don't want to be hobbled and guarding one of the state's best players.
Hendrickson's back in the game on the far side for Chaska as Lenzen comes out. Niebuhr in the corner. Tried to enter for higher, but it was stolen away by Layton for Benilde St. Margaret's with under 2 minutes to play here in the first half.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy there by the Hawks. Just not great execution on offense.
Olsen, after a quick first couple points for the Red Knights, has gone cold as Higher catches the transition pass for 2. Olsen, who, as we said, started out the night strong for Benilde St. Margaret's. She hasn't scored in probably 10 minutes here for the Red Knights.
Yeah, I think she's kind of wearing down. I mean, you have the other team's best defenders chasing after you all over the place, like we said. She's playing point guard. She's doing a lot of defensive glass as well. She's just getting a little worn out, it looks like.
Outside, Horning to fellow freshman Olsen. Red Knights have 3 freshmen at the guard position right now. 2 shots coming up for Olsen as she was fouled by Hendrickson.
Hawks only have 5 fouls on the night. I believe 4 of them are shooting fouls. That's where, Benilde's had most of their success has come at the line so far.
Chaska's holding opponents to 40 points, just under 40 points per night. They're still winning by an average of 38 points a night, Mike, and
we're right on pace.
We are right on pace. Second free throw, no good from the freshman. She definitely has had her confidence knocked a little bit here in this first half as Chaska's up 20 here with under 60 seconds left.
Yeah, it's tough as a shooter when you just, it feels like there's a lid on the hoop on some nights, and it just makes it so difficult to be confident in your stroke.
Higher tried to tap up. Sanders is missed. Chaska gets the offensive rebound back outside. 38 ticks left. Sanders to Higher near side, posting up his Niebuhr down low. Higher gets it to her, but it's poked away. This could be a backcourt violation, and it is. It's a backcourt violation by the Chaska Hawks, and Benilde will get the ball back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I love that call. I mean, Benilde definitely got a hand on the ball, and Chaska never regained possession. Yes, it looked like Niebuhr definitely, tapped the ball into the backcourt, but I don't know if that constitutes, gaining possession.
It does, actually.
Oh, it does?
Yep.
Okay. That's a good thing I'm sitting next to a ref.
This is Paul Harris taught me this, obviously. We can explain this at halftime, but 20 seconds to go. Olsen driving against Niebuhr. Big on big matchup here as we have 10 seconds left. Layton back off for Olsen with 5 left. I can tell you who's going to take this shot. Olsen with 2 seconds left actually gets it off for Wells, and they can't even get a shot off. The horn sounds, and Chaska has a 20-point lead. I will inform you, Mike, that if you have team control in the front court, it can be tapped by either team into the backcourt as long as you're the last to touch it and in the front court and the first to touch it in the backcourt. It doesn't matter if possession was regained.
You learn something new every day.
It's a 20-point lead for Chaska at halftime. Mike, your first half thoughts?
Kind of what we expected. A little bit of a slow start for the Hawks, but they score in bunches always with that high-pressure defense, getting easy looks. So it was good to see him kind of get back on track after I believe it was, 11-9 at one point. So, Chaska right back on track. He said they're averaging about 80 a night and allowing 40, and that's what we're on pace for at this point.
We will take a quick break as we have reached halftime. Chaska up 20 on conference rival Benilde St. Margaret's. Second half coming your way here in a few seconds from Chaska High School. Mike, 20-point lead for Chaska. They're on pace, as we said, for that 40-point win that they've averaged so far this year.
Yeah, during the opening, during introductions, I kind of called this a lunch pail game for the Hawks. It's a go take care of business, get out of Dodge unscathed, and then kind of get into the meat of the schedule here with Wyzetta coming up. And that's exactly what the Hawks have done. They started a little slow, which can be a little bit too expected when you're coming in against a team that you previously beat by 40 points. But they were able to pick it up and get out to a 20-point lead.
I want to thank Heartbreakers, your local pub and grub, for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. They reestablished in 2018 by a local family. They're very COVID conscious. Serve high-quality food ranging from homemade pizzas to dinner entrees. Visit Heartbreakers just across the street in the Chaska Commons. Underway here in the second half, and after a couple turnovers, Chaska has the basketball here. Kennedy Sanders working right to left in this second half of basketball. She had 6 points in the first half.
6 points. Yeah, 6 points, quite a few rebounds. She had a good overall half.
Van Epps also had 6 points. She kicked out for Sanders, who missed the three-pointer here we're less than a minute in. You know, I was talking to Blake Herring at halftime, Mike, and he brought up a good point. It's tough for a team like Benilde as Olsen pulls up from the free throw line. It's tough for a team like Benilde when you try to center your whole offense around a freshman who, obviously, being a freshman, doesn't have quite the experience. But, you know, that's tough when you're trying to run your offense through a player who, has played less than a full year of varsity basketball.
Yeah, she hasn't been in the program. She doesn't understand the level of competition quite yet. I mean, she is coming up on the end of her first season, but it's extremely difficult to make that transition from, playing Metro basketball into playing high school hoops.
Sanders gets on the board for Chaska here. Here comes Willems with nobody to beat. She lays it up and in for a pair. And Chaska quickly up 38-14 here. First buckets of the second half.
Yeah, this is something we've seen quite a few times throughout the course of the season with Chaska. It's just that high-pressure defense really forces teams into, eventually they end up crumbling, and it looks like Benilde St. Margaret's is getting a little tired here to start off the second half.
Janiyah Wright tried to go up with a shot, but Mallory Heyer made that block look far too easy. Benilde inbounds it for Layton outside. Benilde had a quiet first half scoring. Sophie Coleman, who sat for the majority of the latter portions of the half, had 6 points for a team high.
Yeah, the lone senior on the team got off to a decent start, but then got into foul trouble, had 3 early fouls.
Sanders grabs the board on the miss. She drives coast to coast up and in. That's something we've seen Kennedy Sanders do so well so far this year.
I mean, she's so good in transition, whether it's finding the open man or it's just going and finishing herself. That's something that's that experience. She might only be a sophomore, but she's been playing in the program for a while, and she's been able to, use that experience to be able to finish around the hole amongst the trees.
Olsen to the rack for 2. She gets on the board after having just 5 first half points after a handful of shots went up and out. Carmen straight away for 3, and she gets the members bounce.
Carmen, again, continues to impress. I mean, she's doing all the dirty work down low, getting offensive rebounds, and then she steps out to the top of the key and is able to knock down that shot. It's something to be excited about.
Carmen, who on the season has made just 6 3-pointers, gets her 7th here early in the second half.
I was going to say, it can't be many, but she's been hot tonight.
Driving in, Coleman. Stopped up short in the paint. Good defense by Van Epps. Hawks still pressure the ball outside. Entry pass for Wright was out of the reach, and they say it was last touched by Van Epps. Red Knight ball.
Yeah, Benilde St. Margaret's is having to work so hard to get any sort of look up so far. I mean, that pressure defense, I mean, across the board, all 5 of the Lady Hawks are playing great on defense.
Olsen air ball might have been tipped. Here comes Heyer with a full head of steam to the hole. She was fouled as the layup was missed, but she gets 2 free throws. Lindsay Layton gets her 2nd foul of the night.
Yep, they're kind of opening up the throttle now for the Hawks. It's turning into more of a, that fast-paced game, which Chaska loves to play.
Layton's first foul, actually. But Mallory Heyer, nonetheless, goes to the free throw line on the year. a 61% free throw shooter.
I believe she's shooting better from the field than she is from the free throw line right now, and it's not a knock on her free throw shooting. It just shows how effective she's been from the field.
She's shooting 61 from both.
Okay.
So point still stands. Field goal shooting is extremely high for Mallory Hire.
Yeah, Chaska has 3 girls at either right around 50% or above, which is an incredibly impressive stat.
14.5 to go here, 44-16. Chaska quickly dialing up the lead here against Benilde.
Yep, high pressure, up-tempo defense, lots of switching on screens. So that's the versatility that this roster brings.
Hire in stride for 2.
Another great pass by Sanders.
How many times have we seen that this year on this floor, Mike? Hire from Sanders. I mean, it's the reason why Sanders is doubling up everybody in assists.
Yeah, I mean, she's just so good, and she knows her teammates so well. I mean, you know you have one of the best weapons in the state is in Hire, and she gets out and runs the open floor as well as any big in the state.
Sanders averages 5 assists a night.
That's an incredibly impressive stat, especially considering she's putting up almost 16 a game.
Down low, Coleman has to fade away. Rebound collected by Wells, who goes up for 2, the sophomore with a bucket. Hendrickson unselfishly to Hire for 2, and lets the future gopher pad the stats.
Yep, that's another great pass by Sanders, locating that Benilde St. Margaret's is a little slow down the floor. Able to take advantage of it.
Outside, Coleman calls for a screen. Schulke, the defender, switches off with Sanders. Hendrickson picking up Horning outside, the freshman, as we mentioned. Benilde with 4+ freshmen that will play tonight. One of them, Brooklyn Miller, has it outside, gives it back up top for Horning.
This is what you see when Olsen's not on the floor for BSM, is they don't really have an offensive focal point. There's been a lot of confusion, passing the ball out, and now a turnover.
Frustration for the Red Knights as Kennedy Sanders with the steal and score. You can see the heads hanging on the Red Knight bench, and it's quickly a 50-18 lead. Chaska does this so well, as just put up points in a hurry. Yet another steal. Sanders is hacked after the snag, and it's a foul against the freshman Janiyah Wright. We'll see a couple subs for Chaska here as Kendall Carmen will check back in, as well as Jessica Hare for the first time tonight.
Yep, I mean, Chaska, we talk about their offense and how they can score in bunches. They also can put the clamps down. I mean, like I said, at one point the game was 11-9, and now we're looking at 50-18. They've only given up 9 points probably the last 20 minutes of the game.
Hire, the 6'6" junior, has it up top. Passes off for fellow junior Kendall Carmen. She stops up at the free throw line, has a wide open look at 2.
There's Carmen again. I think she's got 1 miss on the night. She's had a great game, and that gets her into double digits.
Up top, Layton. Picked up by Carmen. Timeout on the floor. It's Mike Swan who calls his 3rd timeout of the evening with just under 12 to play here on the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. Back from Chaska High School, quick update from the Haben Center over in St. Louis Park. Chaska boys have a 68-55 lead on the Red Knights with 2.5 minutes to go. That's the boys game. over at Benilde St. Margaret's. Chaska looking to remain with one loss in the Metro West. Obviously Cooper, who's ranked one spot higher than them in the Class 4A poll. The only loss that Chaska has so far this year. They have a tough non-conference schedule coming up, as well as another date with Cooper. So tough end of the season for Dana Coleman's squad. We will have their game against Minnetonka right back here on Saturday afternoon. It's a weekend matinee between the Hawks and the Skippers. Myself and Eric Krauscher on the call for that.
It's always tough to get up to for those weekend matinees. You know, it's not your typical game time that you're looking at.
Higher for two underneath off the glass. Jessica Higher with her first points of the night.
Nice move there by Higher with a little up and under. She got this step, maybe an additional step through there, but she was able to complete the basket.
Olsen draws contact and goes to the free throw line for two. You can tell she's just tired, having to carry a lot of this Benilde St. Margaret's offense of what has been just 18 points. But
I think half the 18 points have come at the line so far too, Ryan.
Yep. First free throw dribbles in. Substitution will be made for Benilde St. Margaret's, and we'll see number 11 check into the game. That's Carol Farah.
She's able to complete the back half. Now 20-54 Chaska.
34-point lead here with 11 minutes to play. Chaska's dominance continues in the Metro West Conference. Obviously with Wayzata, a big one coming up. That's a feature matchup in the Star Tribune Girls Basketball Hub. Good article written on that game. Even though it was incorrectly stated that that game will be played here, that game will be played at Wayzata High School. We will not have coverage of that game, but you will be able to live stream it presumably. Hendrickson tries a wing three, no good. Rebound by Coleman. 2-on-1 for Benilde, and Olsen goes to the rack for two.
Yeah, you know, it was a good possession by the Hawks. They got 3 quality looks. They just weren't able to complete it. It was rebounds 4 and 5 on the offensive end by Carmen, so she's continuing to have a good game.
With 10 minutes left, the night for Chaska's starting guards is presumably over, as well as Mallory Higher, as Kendall Carmen the only starter left in the game. So, you know, this is, we say it every game, Mike, but I think it's important. This is why Chaska's so dominant. I mean, you're getting 10 to 15 minutes of action for your 8th through 10th players every night.
I mean, it's going to be, I would say it's a great thing to build for the future, but Chaska's got a fairly young team here still. But it's nice to get those minutes in. You know, they've been able to do it all year, get a little bit of varsity experience. Nothing goes like that. I mean, nothing really hits like varsity game play.
Olsen with a steal. She got into Coleman, who was contested at the other end after coming in from out of bounds. With 9:30 to go, Carmen backs it out for Chaska. This is Lucy Dardis, the junior. Now back to Schulke.
Chaska okay with slowing the ball or the game down at this point.
50.
Higher's getting ready to check back in.
We'll see a little more on Mallory Higher. Jessica Higher, no relation. Rejected down low. Olsen's going to push with some steam here. Cut down, though, by Hendrickson. Pulling up from mid-range, no good. The offensive rebound by Layton. And the foul, and Layton will go to the free throw line for two. Foul against Kendall Carmen.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing that might get Chaska into trouble going forward is maybe a little bit of foul trouble. They've been good enough to stay out of it so far in this young season, but with that high-pressure defense that they play, I mean, it's always a concern, especially when it comes to non-conference games and sectional play.
See a fresh 5 in for Chaska. It is, yeah, we are going to see the starters re-enter. Sanders back onto the floor, as well as Higher and Willems. So 3 starters return. Anna Lenz into the game with Lily Niebuhr and as the reserves. Under 9 to play here, a sub for Benilde. Wells will check back in.
Yeah, Wells, again, a sophomore. I mean, basically everybody we're seeing on Benilde St. Margaret's, with the exception of Coleman, doesn't have a ton of varsity experience.
Willems from the baseline knocks it down.
Nice job there by Willems, creating a little space with the dribble and able to knock down a nice 15-foot jump shot.
Willems, who averages a modest 5 points a night. Plays a big role in the point guard position, facilitating for Chaska. Mallory Heyer catches in stride for yet another 2 points in transition.
Yeah, she just goes and continues to get those easy buckets.
I mean, it's so easy when you have Kennedy Sanders, who, as I think it was Eric Krauscher who said that Kennedy Sanders might give her brother a run for money as the starting quarterback position next year on the Chaska football team. She's had some incredible passes to Mallory Heyer in transition so far this year.
Yeah, she throws a good deep ball.
Obviously, her brother Braden is in the running for starting quarterback position next fall here, just outside at Chaska High School. Olivia Olson kicks outside, stolen away, however, by Kelsey Willems, the Augustana commit. Heyer once again in transition, got bumped, count it for 2 and the foul.
Yeah, when you continue to see number 24 streaking down the floor and finishing easy layups and, even getting an and one situation here, and you're down by, 35 points, it just gets old, gets discouraging. There's not much you can do to stop it. She's just such a great athlete.
1 free throw as the foul was given to Carol Farah, number 11. Free throw is good, so the 3-point play by Mallory Heyer. Crossing over, Olson throws it away yet again. Another turnover for Benilde, and they say Heyer's called for the double dribble. It'll be Benilde ball.
Chaska dropped out of their standard full court man-on-man press and dropped into a half-court trap there, and Benilde wasn't ready for it. That's something as a freshman, you don't see a lot of that when, under 8th grade. But as a freshman, you got to be ready for it, and they got to, show her a little help on the Benilde St. Margaret side. She was out there alone.
Driving, Horning, no good. Rebound by Heyer. Boy, it's been a big stat night for Heyer.
Yeah, Heyer's just filling the box score at this point. Continuing to check boxes, is one of the best players in the state.
Down low, Niebuhr couldn't handle the entry pass. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Benilde basketball. See Coleman and Miller re-enter for Coach Swan and the Red Knights.
Little bit of a high entry pass there by Willems. I'm sure she'd like that one back. No harm, no foul at this point.
6 and change. Yep, 6 and change here from Chaska High School. Hawks on their way, what would look like the 11th straight victory and a undefeated season that continues here. Chaska will go to Izetta on Friday for a big non-conference matchup, and then the Hawks will have Hopkins next week, the #1 team in the country. That game will be broadcast right here on WatchCHBN.com. Anna Lenzen called for the foul as Coleman was going up with it, but Mike, that Hopkins game, obviously Chaska ranked #3 in the state, Hopkins #1 in the state, but not just one in the state, they're #1 in the country.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Chaska so far is they play such a simplistic form of basketball because they've been, superior to every team that they've played so far. It really is, you get the same look, night in and night out. You get the full court man-on-man or player-on-player press. You get them dropping back and playing aggressive defense within the half court, and you also see this half-court trap that they've been running so far in the second half or late in the second half. And then they thrive on easy buckets. Are they going to be able to generate those type of opportunities against a superior opponent in Hopkins, who has solid guard play and very nice bigs?
Lenzen off the glass for 2. Nice bucket from Anna Lenzen, the junior.
Yeah, nice drive into the lane with the left, and then she spins and goes and kisses it off the glass with her right hand. Really nice, impressive play by Lenzen.
Out of bounds, they say it was last touched by the Hawks here. 4:30 in running. We're in running time. Chaska looking like they're going to fall short of that 79-point average. But it's still an impressive performance here with under 5 to play. 3 from the far side by Olivia Olson. That might be her first triple of the night.
I think she had one.
Maybe had one early in the game.
She had one early in
right.
the game that we recognized, and we're like, well, who is this freshman coming out here and hitting a deep 3? But it's nice to see the lid come off for her a little bit. I'm excited to see what she can do in the future.
Lenzen streaking for another 2.
Nice backdoor cut there by Lenzen and a great feed by Niebuhr. That was a really nice, highly executed play.
Timeout for substitution here as Chaska will actually take the full timeout. So we will step aside here with under 4 to play on the Heartbreakers Pub and Grub Chaska Hawks Broadcast Network. We return from Chaska High School here. Brought to you by Heartbreakers Pub and Grub with a wide selection of beer with 24 rotating taps. Become part of the Heartbreakers family today. That's located in the Chaska Commons next to Cub Foods and Papa John's Pizza. That's Heartbreakers Pub and Grub, reestablished in 2018. Here comes Olsen across the timeline for Benilde now. Under 4 to play. Chaska with a 35-point lead. Olsen gets fouled and scores.
Yeah, we talked about her having a kind of a quiet game. She was a little cold in the first half, but that gets her into double digits. And when your team only scores 32, it's still a pretty impressive feat.
Coleman, the assist on the play. We'll see a slew of Red Knights check in as the bench is cleared.
Not much of an age difference. With
no, I was just going to say, obviously already a young Benilde team. Gets a little younger here as the lower levels come in. Interesting thing is that, Mike, we noted that it was a 9th grade game that was played before the varsity game on the main floor. Not the JV game that usually precedes the varsity game. Entry pass was stolen away by
Olsen.
Olsen, yep. But not sure why the JV game was not played before the varsity game. If there was no JV game or if it was located elsewhere, I'm not sure of that. Could have been something to do with COVID.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it a lot in the football season, more so than basketball. But just with COVID going on, with everything up in the air, lots of late schedule changes, lots of games getting skipped due to exposures. Yep. It's something that we've had to deal with basically all year across the board with all the sports, and it's not fun, but at least we get to play.
Lunzen trying her hot hand, no good. Rebound offensively by Ashley Schulke. Obviously, the football season is available to watch all the home games that were called by Mike and I. Available, watchchbn.com, and then click on the on-demand tab, or the archives tab, I should say. Knockdown from Lunzen. She's up to 6 points tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I think she's been hot here in the second half. Come out, and I believe, was that a
6 or 8 maybe?
Yeah, I think it's either 6 or 8. I believe it might be 8. But she's come out guns blazing. She missed a 3 earlier in the possession. Chaska was able to regain possession, though, and she hit it the second time.
Approaching minute and a half to play here. Streaking through, blocked by Heyer. That was number 10 for Benilde, Julia Walsick, who was swatted away by Jessica Heyer, the Chaska 6'6 junior. Here's Lenzen once again outside. That was long. Rebound by the Red Knights and Sophie Sohm.
You have Lenzen with a little bit of a heat check there. I don't mind it, especially this late in the game. It's good to see Heyer get involved on the defensive end as well. I mean, if she can continue to develop as a player, she's going to be a big weapon for the Hawks.
Niebuhr couldn't handle the pass, so got stolen away. Driving in is number 4, Bella Davidson. That was no good. We approach 60 seconds to play here in regulation. Chaska with a 67-33 lead over Benilde St. Margaret's here. They'll slow things up. Give it out. Niebuhr will pass to Schulke, who's going to pull up for 3. No good. Heyer, everybody else couldn't finish the lay-in. And Benilde with 40 seconds left, going to try to stop the bleeding a little bit here.
Yeah, Chaska unable to convert there on the offensive end, but I think they gained about their 13th offensive board on the night, which is a really good sign for a team.
Entry pass stolen away by Chaska. 25 ticks remaining in this one. Schulke catches in stride, lays it up and in. 2 points and the foul.
What happens here with running time if we get a...
It just expires.
It just expires.
This game will end after the Schulke free throw.
She better get it up quick. Hopefully the horn doesn't go off mid-shot.
And the horn goes off right after the shot. And the game is over. Chaska wins this one. Metro West Conference Tuesday basketball is victorious for Chaska, 70-33. Yet another dominating performance by the Chaska Hawks here tonight.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, they took care of business. This game kind of went exactly how we thought it would. It went exactly like the first game did. Chaska did a nice job of weathering the storm early, getting out and running, playing their style basketball, making it hard on the defensive end, or making it hard for the opponent on the offensive end and making it easy on the offensive end for the Hawks.
The joy of Chaska girls basketball is we started 20 minutes late and we're still done by 8:30 p.m. Say, folks, appreciate you tuning in. We have 2 huge games coming up here in the next couple weeks here for Chaska basketball. This Saturday at 1 o'clock, Chaska boys basketball versus Minnetonka. That game will be right back here at watchchbn.com. And then a week from Thursday, Chaska versus Hopkins girls basketball, a matchup between the #1 team in the nation and the #3 Chaska Hawks. That one will be right back here. Watch chbn.com. The Hawks girls next game this Friday at Wyzetta, a big one, non-conference for Chaska. Say, folks, for Mike York and Mike Schmidt, I'm Ryan Paul saying so long tonight from Chaska High School. Appreciate you sharing part of your Tuesday with us. We'll be back on Saturday afternoon for Hawks boys basketball. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good night. Soar Hawks. Judy.